How's it going, everyone? My name is George, and today we are going to be talking about the next film in the Jurassic Park franchise, Jurassic Park 3. This was directed by Joe Johnston this time, not Steven Spielberg. Johnston was known for directing Honey, I Shrunk the Kids, The Rocketeer, Jumanji, October Sky, and then 10 years later, an MCU movie called Captain America the First Avenger, which to me is one of the most underrated MCU movies. But in this film, Dr. Alan Grant returns. Sam Neill once again portrays him, and he needs some research for his funding. So the Kirby family, played by William H. Macy and Taya Leone, offer to fund his research if he comes with them to Isla Sorna and give a tour of the island and to show the dinosaurs. But it turns out that they lied to him, and they really need his help in saving their son, Eric, played by Trevor Morgan. So, Jurassic Park 3 was not based off a book like the previous two Jurassic Park films were, so they had to start from scratch, and this film did go through several different rewrites, and it shows. In fact, they were still working on the story and script when they started filming. And that doesn't always mean a film's gonna be bad, but most of the time it means the film's not gonna be good. And yeah, Sam Neill as Dr. Alan Grant is definitely one of the best parts of this movie. He's still very good. Laura Dern returns as Ellie at the beginning of the film, and while they're no longer in a relationship, they're still very good friends. I'm glad to see that they still have their friendship. And and Dr. Alan Grant is still the same. Same, he still believes in his theories. He's showing Ellie's son about like the correct way to play with the dinosaurs, and he's definitely improved on how he talks to kids, on how he approaches kids, and it kind of shows when he meets the Kirby son Eric later on in the film. Now, Jurassic Park 3 is essentially a rescue mission kind of film. They don't really have the themes from the first two films where you got these scientists or these group of people that want to take the dinosaurs or experiment on the dinosaurs for their own gain. Um, Man versus dinosaur. We don't really see those themes that often in this film. And this film is not as long as the previous two Jurassic Park films were. Those movies were over 2 hours long. This film is around 90 minutes, an hour and 30 minutes. And it kind of explains why things are rushed, why it feels very quick paced. And I get wanting to make a shorter film, but with this being the third film in the Jurassic Park franchise, it kind of feels like it should be at least around the same length as the previous two movies, or maybe like a few minutes longer. I don't know, it just feels like things are very rushed. And as far as characters go, outside of Dr. Alan Grant, the other characters on the island aren't really that interesting. The mercenaries are quickly killed off. The Kirby family is so annoying. In fact, they probably should have been the human antagonist of the film, but they're so annoying and very cringe that you can't even accept them as antagonists. Especially, but they probably should have been because they lied to Dr. Alan Grant, his assistant Billy, and the mercenaries. They're not a wealthy family. And I get it, they want to save their son, but at the same time, all these injuries, destruction, deaths caused because of their lies. The son Eric is probably the only new, really cool, likable character in the film. He's very resourceful. I love his conversations with Dr. Alan Grant. He's managed to survive on this island for several weeks, so he's definitely probably the best new character in this film. If there's one thing I think the Jurassic Park movies in general have done very good with is having these young actors portray these young characters, and they're very likable, they're not annoying. The character Billy, while I wouldn't say he's a terrible character, he's kind of dull. Like, he only really does two interesting things throughout this movie. The first thing is he takes these raptor eggs, which cause the raptors to follow them, and basically betrays Alan's trust. And then he sacrifices himself to save Eric from pteranodons, and that makes Dr. Alan Grant feel very guilty. But then it turns out Billy survives, and apparently Billy was supposed to die, but the actor protested it, and so he survives. The rescue team finds him, which to me doesn't really make sense because when we see like the Navy rescue team come in, it's like very quick, like out of nowhere. It's like would they take this time to find Billy? It doesn't really make sense. By the way, the Pteranodons, it's finally great to see these dinosaurs. Not everything about this film is terrible, but this film was a mess. The special effects and animatronic work is definitely the weakest of the three, which to me doesn't make sense because this film came out in 2001, and the fact that movies from 1993 and 1997 have better effects work than a film that came out in 2001 is just that's not good. I mean, granted, yeah, all these movies are over 20 years old, but Jurassic Park's gonna be 30 years old next year. Those special effects still hold up. Lost World is 25 years old. Those special effects and animatronic work still holds up. That's not a good sign. It definitely shows what happens when Spielberg left the franchise. And that's not a slight on Joe Johnston because I do enjoy his work, but if this was Steven Spielberg, these problems definitely would not have happened. John Williams doesn't do the score this time, but the score is still pretty good. Good, and I liked how they've been able to replicate John Williams' score. When they're on the boat after the whole Trondon thing happens, you do get that sense of wonder from the previous two Jurassic Park movies. But the thing is, it's like we're getting closer to the end of the film and we're finally having this sense of wonder at looking at dinosaurs. And the big bad dinosaur this time around is the Spinosaurus. And while it's cool at first, over time you start to notice that it's getting dull. The special effect animatronic work for the Spinosaurus isn't really all that great. And he kills the T Rex right away, and it's like the T Rex has always been crucial to the Jurassic Park franchise, and without him, the film kind of goes down. And because you don't have the T Rex, you don't have those suspenseful moments that you had from the first two Jurassic Park films. Those suspenseful moments where they're in the rain and the T Rex is coming, and whether he's escaping a gate or or the T Rex is trying to find its baby, those suspenseful moments are lacking in this film. They just basically go on like a wild goose chase in this film, being chased by dinosaurs. You don't really have those suspenseful moments. The closest you get is a raptor. They're basically pretending to not be there, but then does a jump scare. But the jump scare is so cheesy and doesn't even do anything other than make Taya Leone scream on the top of her lungs. But yeah, all in all, this film is disappointing. Yeah, Dr. Alan Grant is great. The character Eric is a very good character, but these other new characters, they're just not that good. And the Kirby family, do they even face any consequences after this film? Do they face consequences for lying to Alan, Billy, and these mercenaries that got killed? Like this film was this film was a train wreck. the Other than like a few cool scenes with dinosaurs and the score and Dr. Alan Grant and the character Eric, this film just I don't like watching rewatching this film. I really don't. Like The Lost World, I understand people's problems with The Lost World, but most of the new characters in that film, while they're not as interesting as the characters from the first Jurassic Park film, they're still at least interesting. And the motivations make more sense in that film than they do in this film. And some of the humor doesn't really work in this film either. Like when Dr. Alan Grant's trying to call Ellie and he gets Ellie's young son and the son's watching Barney while Alan and the crew are being terrorized by dinosaurs just doesn't really work. And the raptor dream, like I get it, Dr. Alan Grant's gonna have PTSD from his experience on Jurassic Park, but when the raptor's like, Alan, Alan, it's so dumb. Like it makes the gymnastics scene from The Lost World look iconic. Like that's how bad this film is. Like certain things that don't make sense, certain things that are meant to play off as humor does not land correctly. Certain things that are meant to be jump scares aren't even jump scares. All in all, I'm gonna give Jurassic Park 3 a C minus. This is a disappointing movie. Joe Johnston is a much better director than what was shown in this film. And it kind of makes sense why it took 14 years to make another Jurassic Park movie, which is Jurassic World, not Jurassic Park. And we're going to get into Jurassic World next weekend. But yeah, this is a disappointing movie, and I'm glad that Sam Neill's going to return as Alan Grant in Jurassic World Dominion to hopefully have a much better final performance. Like, he was good in this movie. It's not even the performance, just hopefully he's in a better movie, as well as Laura Dern as Ellie. But yeah, all in all, this was a disappointing movie. And I don't know if Jurassic World Dominion's going to even touch upon the events of this film. I would simply just say if you are new to the Jurassic Park franchise to just go watch Jurassic Park, The Lost World, Jurassic Park, and then Jurassic World and then Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom. But yeah, I don't like this movie. What do you guys think about Jurassic Park 3? Do you find it underrated? Do you hate it? Because I know there's some people that do like this movie, but I just hate rewatching this movie. But yeah, thank you guys for watching. Please like and subscribe already if you haven't. Please share this with someone that likes the Jurassic Park franchise. Maybe they have a different opinion about this film. I hope to see you guys real soon. I'm going to be doing my Toy Story 2 review on Monday, so stay tuned for that. Jurassic World is going to be next weekend. Hope to see you guys real soon. Take care, everyone.